Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Today is Wednesday, November 5th. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to review Curaleaf's Q3 2025 earnings. They did beat in terms of analyst estimates, so we'll go over that and we'll take a look at the chart towards the end as well. I'm still pretty sick, so probably won't be as long of a video today, and I'm getting ready for a few interviews. And I'm still working to get Boris Jordan from Curaleaf on the channel as well, but I've got quite a few interviews upcoming and getting ready for that. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as one of my platforms of choice going forward. And full disclosure, I do own Curaleaf, but this is not financial advice. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. This is for entertainment purposes only. So I posted this video yesterday. In terms of estimates, we were looking at a consensus on Wall Street for revenue of 317 million USD and negative 0.068 for EPS. You could round it up to negative 0.069, and actually came in at a beat. We had 320.24 million for revenue and negative 0.06. So decent beat there for revenue and a slight beat in terms of earnings per share EPS. So if we scroll down here, third quarter 2025 net revenue, you can see 320 million. Third quarter international revenue was 46 million. And third quarter 2025 adjusted gross profit margin of 50%. Year-to-date operating and cash flow from continuing operations of 104 million and 57 million respectively. And if we scroll down here to the details, you can see here negative 0.06 for EPS, an adjusted net loss of 48 million and change. And if we scroll down to the balance sheet here, you can see in terms of cash and cash equivalents, they're sitting at just north of 107 million. And I did see that Trulieve came out with their earnings today, and Green Thumb, it was okay. But you have to remember too, I think Trulieve sitting on like $450 million worth of cash. And yes, we only have 107 here for Curaleaf, but you have to remember that their international business is massive, right? $46 million in international revenue for the third quarter alone. And Boris Jordan, CEO of Curaleaf, said that if another operator in the U.S., like one of their competitors in the U.S., say, for example, a Trulieve, were to replicate what they've done internationally in terms of their footprint, it would cost around $400 to $500 million, so about $500 million, which would essentially be all of their cash that these other companies would have on their balance sheet. Or they could issue stock and it would create dilution, right? So in my opinion, they're well ahead of the pack, and I do believe that Curaleaf, when it's all said and done, will probably be one of the top three for sure, maybe even the number one, number two company when it's all said and done. So yeah, here it is here. Cash at the quarter end totaled 107.5 million. And I'm not going to read through every single thing here. 158 stores across the country, which is massive. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, like how it all plays out, right? Like it kind of reminds me of like I think High Tide in Canada has like 200 and some stores now, but they only do retail. So I'm a little unsure about how this is all going to play out, because a lot of companies, and I don't really think that you should be in the retail business and the producer side, to be honest with you. I just think it's strange, because why would you want to compete with your competitors? And this seems to be a thing very popular in the US, where all the operators have retail stores. So I just don't know how that kind of model is going to work long term. I think, I'm a true believer that you should either be in retail or retail only, or a producer. I don't think you should commingle both. And then speaking of High Tide, like what happens if they end up going to the US, right? Then they're going to be competing against them, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But again, another reason why I would love to have Boris Jordan on to kind of clear all that up. What he thinks that that could happen long term. If you remember when I interviewed Tilray CEO Irwin Simon, he said, we do not want to be in the retail business. We have good partners out there. We don't want to compete with our partners, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. And we know that Canopy Growth was into retail in Canada, and that was abysmal. That did not turn out well at all. I remember going to a Value Buds, which is owned by SNDL now, and I went to buy a product from Canopy, and they're like, nope, we don't have it anymore. I'm like, what? He's like, we boycotted all Canopy products because they were opening stores next to our Value Bud stores, and they boycotted everything. And they started selling everything off for like 50%, 60% off to the staff, and wouldn't sell them anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. The MJ Herald posted about it as well. It was a pretty decent write-up. So Curaleaf reported $320 million revenue for the third quarter, up 2% from the previous quarter. So not a huge jump, but a jump nonetheless. And overseas operations generated $46 million, up 56% year over year, helping offset domestic price compression that has challenged the broader MJ industry. And that's another thing, right? There's a lot of saturation. There's a lot of competition, price compression. I think the average ounce in the US, like $300. It's like $250 to $300 US. I wouldn't pay $200. I don't even know if I'd pay $150 US. It's just ridiculous. Like, you can get quad A quality flower here in Canada for like 130, 140 Canadian, which is like 100 US. And yeah, it's quad A. It's fantastic. Also, CEO Boris Jordan said the company's Return to Our Roots plan launched last year to strengthen product quality and margins is beginning to pay off. So like I said, they had 50% there in terms of gross margin. Let me just scroll through here. So adjusted EBITDA of $69 million, representing 22% margin, and generated $53 million in operating cash flow from continuing operations during the quarter. Free cash flow from continuing operations totaled $37 million. Year-to-date operating and free cash flow have reached $104 million and $57 million respectively. Company opened new dispensaries in Ohio, Florida, bringing its national retail footprint to 158 locations. Internationally, Curaleaf completed the buyout of its minority partner in Curaleaf International, now holding 100% ownership of its European division. Subsidiary also launched the first medically certified liquid inhalation device known as the QMID in the United Kingdom and Germany. And I didn't join the conference call at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I just had too many things on the go and still under the weather and trying to get ready for these interviews. But if anybody did join, please let me know your biggest takeaway from that. Any positives or negatives. Let me know what you thought of it. Like I said, I didn't have a chance to do it here today. And strangely enough, I mentioned yesterday, let me know in the video if anybody would like me to live stream that. Not a single person. If that was Tilray or some of these other companies, you'd see like dozens and dozens of people asking to live stream it. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Curaleaf, it's the biggest one in the U.S., but nobody seems to care about Trulieve, Green Thumb, Curaleaf, any of the U.S. names. Personally, I'm heavily invested in the Canadian names. I do own Curaleaf. It's my second biggest holding, full disclosure. But I'm not completely sold on the U.S. market either, but I do think that Curaleaf is more than likely going to be in the top 3 globally when it's all said and done. So Curaleaf's gross margin, 50%, like I said. Subsequent to the quarter, Curaleaf increased its revolving line of credit to Needham Bank. I think I already posted this in one of my rapid-fire news updates from $40 million to $100 million at 7.99% interest rate, which is pretty compelling, and completing a $25 million final payment tied to the Trike acquisition. Boris Jordan said Curaleaf is positioned for new growth in 2026. He's been saying for a while now that it's a return to growth. We've completed significant foundational work to reset the business, leveraging genetics, investing in our supply chain, and realigning our retail operations. These actions have positioned our domestic business for renewed growth while supporting rapid international expansion. So, exciting times, and as you can see here, we had a beat in terms of both of those, EPS and revenue. And if we take a look at the chart here today, so we're still stuck in this descending triangle target here. So we'll see what happens into tomorrow. Like I said, Green Thumb and Trulieve earnings were okay. If you just bring up TCNNF, you can see here they had a beat in terms of revenue, but pretty big loss and beat in terms of EPS. So that's a bit of a mixed bag there. And then GTBIF had a beat in terms of both. They had a big beat in terms of EPS, earnings per share, but pretty much flat there. But a beat, slight beat, tiny beat in terms of revenue. So we'll see what happens into tomorrow. More than likely just going to be following the rest of the sector in the broader market, the S&P 500. We'll see how things shake out into tomorrow. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on these earnings in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. We'll catch you on the next one.